This is my garden, and this is what I've been doing all morning. That's the back. Can't get back further enough. That's what I call my rainforest. Most of these trees were established when we moved here. They were that overgrown you actually couldn't walk through there. This is my veggie patch. 2 veggie patches I've been working on this weekend. From the non-dig garden on the ABC radio I saw. You just lay down newspaper, a layer of hay or lucerne, your dirt, and then another layer of hay, a bit of chook manure or cow manure, whatever you want to use, and you plant it up. The lucerne and the newspaper eventually breaks down, and once it's grown you can harvest and then re-dig. In this one I've got capsicums, I've got red lettuce, I've planted several different types of tomato, cherry tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, beefsteak tomatoes, because they're actually $10 a kilo at the moment here in Australia. I've got marigolds in there as well. Apparently the bugs will eat them and not eat your veggies, so let's hope so. The bamboo stakes are ready to stake up the tomatoes. I think though that plant there is dianthus, but they haven't flowered yet. This spring, I don't know whether they're a summer flower. This garden's got cucumbers, red Spanish onions, cobs of corn, lettuce here and there, and also some marigolds, and I think impatiens in this one as well. Also over this side, because of the big trees at the backyard, it's hard getting a spot that gets enough sun for a veggie garden, so I've sort of got little veggie gardens all over the place. These ones are all in pots. I actually decided to do this after watching one of the news readers on the ABC, where she has a unit in Sydney and all her veggie garden is in pot plants on the balcony, and she actually harvested something like 70 kilos of produce off her pots in balcony, so that was pretty impressive. So that's a tomato plant I've had for a while. I've got silver beet, basil. I got the rainbow silver beet, not the giant silver beet this time. More lettuces. That one's there a very strong lavender. They say to put lavender in amongst your veggies to keep the bugs off. Now this is what a friend at work gave me, and it's now got 3 beans on it. These are actually purple beans, but apparently when you cook them they just go green. That one's garlic. The long skinny ones are garlic, and I don't know what this is, it just popped up. That one there's zucchinis, so they're doing good. That's me basil there. I've just lopped all the tops off them and thrown the seeds back in the pot. They'll just compost down again and spurt up again. Tons of parsley. I'll pick some of that in the morning and take it to work with me. I'm very impressed with the bale of lucerne. Much more economical than sugarcane mulch. $3 a bale, especially if you've got farms or something near you, you can drive out and throw a couple of bales in. And all that you see around the garden here is actually just one bale. This is all my water bowls for the birds. With all the trees in flower, we have lorikeets, different type of parrots. I've had a grey crane come in here lately. That's the bird seed which I've only just put there. I haven't seen any in it yet. They may not realise it's here. That's a bromelaid I was given, apparently rare. So it's got 3 babies. That thing laying on the ground there, I was given that quite a few years ago. And it's got big thorns on it, and it just keeps growing and growing, but it's never flowered. and I'm having a bit of struggle trying to get it out of that pot without getting me fingers full of thorns. That's me little angel. I've got different statues. All this under here was just weeds and more weeds, so I just got in here with the lawnmower, bulldozed it all down, and I've just started planting it up. Most of my garden is from cuttings and the rescue markdown plants at Bunnings. If they're half dead, they're normally half price or less. So I bring them home, trim them up, repot them. All these orchids were Bunnings. That one just there, I bought that the other night. It was $42, marked down to $18. So I'm hoping that's all good. These two little trees here, that one there and that one there, I was looking at old photos of the garden last night, and 2 years ago they weren't even there. So they've sprung up by themselves. All that bush there's actually the next door neighbours who just let the bush grow wild, which I'm quite happy with because they can't see me and I can't see them. This is all my bromeliads. All these, I've just got pots and pots and pots of them. So I've just started transplanting them around the garden. I was a bit concerned they wouldn't flower, as you see they have, because they're under the big grevillea tree and they barely get little sun. They get dappled light mostly. That's baby's breath. You can see it's got one tiny little white flower there. That was another rescue plant. That was a rescue plant. This big lily here, I got that from work because people kept putting it out in the full sun and sunburning it. And the boss said, for goodness sake, if you're so worried about that plant, take it home. So I did. And last year, one of my housemates actually broke the root ball off it. And I thought, hello, I've lost my plant. I planted both. The top has got a new root ball on it. And that, what you're looking at now, is the leaves growing from the root ball. Tucked away in there is an orchid. I was given that orchid not April gone, the April before, and it's flowered twice last year and it's coming into flower again. There wasn't anything in here, and as you see, I've planted mother-in-law's tongue and they've just about taken over the garden there. All those pots of bromeliads, I've got to repot them, replant them. I've got bromeliads coming out my ears. I have thought of selling them, but the problem is once people know you got a big garden full of plants, they tend to come and nick them. I just actually caught a lady sending her daughter into my front yard to grab a plant, which I thought was a bit mean. Her daughter was only about 12, and as soon as the daughter seen me, she decided to take off. If she would have come and asked, I would have gladly given her a plant. So this is the walkway through the garden. And this was always here, but we didn't discover it till about 3 years when I got in here and I just got a truck in, chopped trees, cleared leaves, raked about 2 feet of mulch. And under that mulch was a little rock path. Got some elkhorns on the tree there from my front garden. That plant there was a giveaway laying on the side of the street with free written on it, so I grabbed it. More elkhorns. Another bird bath for me birds. So you're walking all the way through here. More elkhorns. More bromeliads. That orchid there was a rescue orchid. Once again, someone kept putting it in full sun and it was nearly dead. So I took it. They're a different type of bromeliad there. That's another pot I have to pull apart. They just grow and grow and grow, and you usually end up with about 20 in the pot. That's a little new garden I've done today. Oh, sorry, not today, last weekend. The lady next door just has no interest. I just had weeds galore growing through the fence, so I just got the Roundup out and ripped them all out and killed them. So I planted this little garden in here with all the bromeliads. Once again, this will only get the morning sun. It's my little fairy, another bird bath. This garden up here has been dead for a while. Was just constantly overgrown with weeds, that asparagus prickly weed where the roots run for miles and miles. A gardener gave me a tip to just poison it and actually make the poison stronger than the recommended amount. Do that 2 weeks running and voila, it killed it all. I've got mainly pots in here because when you use Roundup or a heavy poison like that, it can damage the soil. So I didn't want to plant the plant straight in case I killed them all off. This garden here virtually gets no sun. It gets a bit of dappled light in the morning. However, the aloe vera, and I think that's a red hot poker, seems to thrive in here. It's a beautiful little plant that's come out in the flower this week. Someone told me it was an Easter cactus, but obviously we're way past Easter. I don't know if you can hear my dogs whinging in the background because they can hear me talking. This here is the elderberry wine bromeliad, and it has those little hangy down flowers. I'm just trying to think of the name. Heliconia. A little bit similar to the heliconia. I love them. As you see, I started off with about 3. Now I've got millions. They're just 2 fresh ones I planted today. Here's me Buddha heads. I actually have a wood barbecue that I hardly ever light, but maybe winter comes we will. Those Buddha heads, you put a candle underneath the head and all the light comes out the holes in their head and the eyes. It's quite funny looking. This is the start of another garden. I ran out of dirt because I actually want some old fashion flowers. Got a lot of bromeliads and a lot of greenery and a lot of things that actually don't flower. So I thought I would put in a flower bed. Just got to get another bale of hay and more dirt. A couple of cactuses there. Impatiens, begonias, snapdragons. Forgotten the name of that red thing. They're dianthuses. That was another rescue pot and all. They were letting them die and someone said if you want it, take it, so I did. They're those agaves that just go absolute berserk. That's an azalea, a white one. That dead looking thing there is also an azalea, which I'm going to try and bring back to life. It was in sand, not soil, and I don't think the sand got enough water. So I'm hoping once I repot it and give it some chicken fertiliser, it'll take off. The ugly thing there is the neighbour's. All the dead branches on it was actually my beautiful banana passion fruit vine, and I think she might have knocked it off with Roundup. There's a little sitting area there. That little settee was given to me. That's my flowering night cactus, that big monstrous of a dinosaur thing. Someone told me it was a dragon fruit, but I actually seen dragon fruit at a nursery the other day, and this is in fact different. It's one of them things that you just break a leaf off and off it goes. I just really need to put it somewhere because it's just going gigantic. This is one of my favourite plants. I put it under here to repot it. Of course, as you see, it's got quite a few dead branches on. So I just shoved it under here out of the way, and as you see, it's burst into flower and it's shot off all these new leaves. It's actually called an empress cactus. It's quite a lot bigger to your normal zygo cactus. It's the old barbecue, so I still need a bit of a clean up and tidy up, get the old gurney out one day. So yes, that's my backyard. That archway was actually around the front of the house, and I don't really worry about the front of the house because there's no fence there for the dogs, so we sort of don't go out there. I was going to grow climbing roses over it, but because this yard's in the shade most of the day, I couldn't get roses to grow. Just decided one day to shove a pot of these crucifix orchids there, and sure enough, they're growing up it. So every time I see them, they grow like a weed. You pull one out and you plant them and they just grow, and they virtually grow on air. So I've put a pot up the top there, purple ones there. I'm hoping to pot up the top of the orange ones. So once they grow over there, it'll look quite good. There's me Buddha head. That was a bargain. One of the shops was closing down. That's probably 1.5 foot or more high, and I got it for 29 bucks. So I'm pretty good at looking for bargains for my garden. I can hear my dogs whinging, saying, "Come on, mummy, let me out." The old Hills hoist, don't you love it? They're an Australian icon. Okay. Oh, that's the horrible neighbour's house. We won't go there.